This is gonna be a bit of a banger. Fnatic Rising versus Nordavind.
Yeah,
I know. I feel like this is gonna be one of those high tier matches in Group B. Nordavind I was actually on a little show with Orcs and Veteran on Sunday where we were talking about it, and essentially like Veteran, who's generally quite a critical guy, but he will always talk about the types of players that he thinks are going to pop off. He was like, he had heaps of praises for Nordavind, heaps and heaps of praises for Nordavind, and I think I'm kind of in that line. Like, I think Nordavind have got incredibly strong solo laners. All three carry positions are occupied by who I like. On a good day, could carry their team individually. Like, I think Nordavind have got some very, very good players on their team. Fnatic Rising, however, have definitely come into this split looking like the strongest team to beat. So this is going to be a test for Nordavind, but also a benchmark for Fnatic. Like, if Nordavind look like the best team in Group B, outside of Fnatic, can Fnatic beat them? And if they can, how easily do they do it? It's a bit of a benchmark for them. But we're into draft phase. As you can see, Gwen and Viego banned, Ezreal and Thresh
If they also ban Akali, they've banned all the overpowered picks.
yeah.
I honestly expected to come out here because it seems like a pick you would first pick to me, just because there's so few counter matchups at the moment. The only thing that kind of counter Akali right now is that you can lose a lot of early game productivity due to having no priority against the likes of, for example, Jace instead. But it is actually going to throw it. It's actually going to be the Rumble ban instead, something that Maxi has prioritized pretty heavily as well in the past. So the question is going to be, what are we going to go through with this one? And it's actually going to be the Renekton. There's a lot of power picks led Odin. Akali still up and available. The Lee Sin, the Varus, the Sin Sours, as we've seen. Lots to be taken from Fnatic here on their two red side picks.
And I wonder what Sharp is going to choose to go with, because I'm seeing Renekton, Rumble is banned. Then the two next ones that come to my mind is probably Lilia and Nidalee. I don't necessarily have Nidalee up there on my list, neither do I have Lilia, but they're the next two in line as AP junglers right now. So I'm just thinking if maybe they want to pull the 1-2 AD and then go for the double AP, but then Crispback doesn't play AP down the bot lane, so I'm kind of scratching my head, which means that possibly this is Ericsson's Renekton in the mid lane that does well against pretty much anything they have to throw at him.
All right, with the two picks coming in so far, now Ben, my Tristana obviously could be for mid lane as well, and doesn't necessarily have to be there. But they are actually going to lock in the Kai'Sa and with Engage as well. So when I saw the Renekton, in my head, I was like, maybe we should get the Braum for the Nordavind. Maybe we should get a safe lane and let it scale and then play for solo lanes. But I mean, what am I thinking? It is the Crispberg team. Of course they're going to put resources into him, even with Renekton locked in as a first pick.
I mean, this is Kai'Sa, right? I remember last year at some point he said, I might as well be an OTP Kai'Sa at this point. But his Kai'Sa is so damn good, he might as well be an OTP. Like, we allow him to be an OTP if he plays like this. He is one of the very few ADCs that is hungry, and it shows on the map that he's hungry. He's not safe, he's not weighing his situations, he's hungry. He'll dive in, he'll jump in, he will want to take the kill, he'll want to take that one step forward. So I'm not mad that the Kai'Sa has been locked in. I really like the Leona because you can pin down the Tristana as well. Now, of course, Braum is a really good matchup into all the melee support because you can very easily turn it around with the passive, but I do like what's happening around Crispback at this point.
Yeah, and one thing that's going to be interesting as well is that what are we going to see from the side of Nordavind in terms of flex pick here? Because with the bans that they're putting out, they're banning Nah. One of the matchup that Renekton doesn't do too hard into, it's fine for them. But this kind of tells to me that this Renekton is going up towards the top side of the map. So for Fnatic right now, I think you just either lock in the Akali because it's obviously been left open, or you go for a top laner and it's obviously going to be the Akali instead. There are still matchups you can go with this one here, but from the side of Nordavind, pay attention. They are lacking a lot of ability power right now. So either that needs to come from the mid lane, or you need to lock in some of the junglers that Trouble has already talked about.
I wouldn't mind seeing Kerberos on Cho'Gath here, and I wouldn't mind Ericsson taking the Renekton.
I agree. Trouble, it happened. Okay, you did great.
Fair enough.
I agree with you. I mean, it is a pick that I
just really like the Renekton into Akali. It just completely handicaps her in lane and can also 1v1 her. So not just do you keep her in lane, but you also have threat on killing her, and you can roam together with the Nidalee. We've known the Renekton 1-2 with the Nidalee being absolutely towards the top lane. That can happen also in the mid lane. Do you take the Shroud? You also have kill pressure on the top lane because Squishy has been locked in for Pride and the likes of Aatrox. Yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for the Nordavind draft. It's very, very, very Nordavind.
It for sure is, and you can already tell on these team composition, there's a lot of skirmish potential from both sides, really. Lots of CCs, semi-frontliners, bruisers, really, coming out from both teams. And I think Fnatic are most likely going to have their spike a bit earlier than Nordavind, but when Nordavind spikes come through as well, then they start to be really scary. I think the game plan for Fnatic is they need to be the proactive team, while Nordavind, they can feel fine by slowing it down just a little bit for them to get their 2-item power spike through.
Yeah, and I think, as Trouble said, this is a very Nordavind draft. Like, Kerberos is one of the only top laners that still actively picks up and plays Cho'Gath, uses it as a way to set up the rest of his team. Very, very interesting to see these drafts come through, and Nordavind giving themselves a good platform to take that fight to Fnatic, because this is an important game for, like, stake setting and understanding relative strength in Group B. Like, it is a really important game to see the outcome of. And we have two beautiful casters to take us through. I used beautiful twice now in 2 throws, but I'm ill, so don't worry about it. Jamada and Hitbrain.
It's going to be an interesting game, isn't it, Jamada, as we get ready to go into the Rift for our second game of the day?
I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to ignore it. Yeah, I mean, we've got two really...
We had the chocolate puns yesterday.
Yeah.
We can probably do beverage-based jokes today if we want.
Yeah, I think we can, but yeah. You know, Fnatic Nordavind, it's always kind of delivered, I think, and especially after last split in the playoffs, right, where you think Nordavind realistically had a few opportunities to take Fnatic to 5 games, come that playoff series in spring. So, like the analyst desk was saying, this is a bit of a, you know, an expectation setter, a stake setter too, for both of these teams. If Nordavind can come out here and take down Fnatic and secure a win, it ties up the top end of the group. And of course, for Fnatic, I mean, it's more about, again, still proving that they are the strongest team here in Group B. Yeah.
Have a break, have a Kit Kat. Want to have some tea with that as well. Just let's say it's going to be a minor issue, a monitor issue, if we're going to be completely fair. But it looks like the team's all ready to go, so it shouldn't be too long before we get back onto the Rift for this game. And like they were saying on the desk, it feels a little bit like a benchmark game, really. It's how efficiently can Fnatic Rising dispatch Nordavind. And that's what we've got to keep our eyes on, really.
Yeah, and I think for Nordavind, it's about proving themselves as well. So both teams, really, it's about proving themselves for both teams. It is truly a by definition, a benchmark game. And I think both the drafts here coming in, they've really got loads of merits on both sides. You know, Nordavind, they've got the strong mid lane jungle duo to play towards Kai'Sa Leona, even though the matchup on the bottom side is a little bit rough when you talk about Tristana plus the Braum 1-to-1. Is still something that you can sort of move numbers down with the mid lane priority that you should be able to get in the early game for Ericsson and try and cause some issues down there. And Curb on the Cho'Gath can and should be able to hold his own into something like Aatrox. It's a bit of a back and forth matchup because there's so much to stay in between the two champions. And same thing really for Fnatic. Like we say, loads of merits on both sides, strong bottom side to play with. You're playing Xin Zhao as Maxi with a Braum, so as long as you get those the first concussive blow stack on, typically it's just immediately going to be a flash blown. So have to be a little bit wary of that. Nordavind bottom side in particular, but finally lane starting off. Junglers both starting on red buff. I expect to see Maxi with a slightly more aggressive jungle path, but we might just see him take up a more full, closer to full jungle clear, whereas with Sharp on the Snidley, I'm expecting the full 6 camps.
Well, keep our eye on how quick these camps are going to be taken out, as red buff's only just finished up for Sharp. He's now heading over towards his Krugs, while Maxi making his way downwards a little bit faster on the clear so far for him.
Obviously, you have to know Maxi is missing out on Krugs. He is going to skip the camp. So.
Yep.
Level 4 will be achieved by Sharp off the full clear. And bottom lane, priority looks to be Bean and Rux for now. Kind of expected, just range differential plus the threat of Braum passive stacking up. The Tristana explosive bomb can deal so much damage in tandem with the Braum passive, so it's not really worth trying to get too aggressive on at level 1 as Leona Kai'Sa. For Maxi, it means this should probably be bottom side Skull, albeit he will have to fare with likely no mid lane priority, as that spawn time will roll in ever so slowly.
Gives him a, a little bit of safety towards his bot side. Even if it's a small pocket of vision, it is a nice little pocket of vision for them to have. Uncontested on that as well. And we're seeing that Ericsson now shoving in Febby into this mid lane is just moving over, making sure that this top side is covered. He knows that's where his jungler's going to be looking for the crab. Doesn't want to get caught out by any shenanigans, although the ward's been placed down, so they have an idea that Maxi has already finished those chickens up, so probably have a rough idea of whereabouts he is on the map.
Yeah, and that mid lane matchup, of course, anybody that happens to follow me on Twitter knows how passionate I was getting about this Akali. But yeah, Febby in a matchup where realistically Ericsson can punish on the Renekton. It can be very difficult. Now Maxi's here in the area, expecting Sharp to maybe pay a visit. Just with the wave state, you can see Febby has to step up and he's read it correctly. Let's see if the counter gank can work.
They go for the flash. Ericsson jumps in as well. That's already going to be the easy pickup. First blood for Ericsson as Fnatic gets turned onto the spears, the flashes, everything's coming in. Maxi's going low and Sharp will leap in for the double kill.
That's such a huge win for Nordavind, especially when you talk about how volatile a duo like Renekton Nidalee can be quite frequently. So picking up 2 early kills and they're spread across both the champions, to both the players, Ericsson and Sharp, both picked up 1 kill. This can really heavily sway the things in Nordavind's favor, even heavier than just the matchup on paper. We get the replay here, the flash stun, and actually it's very nice for Maxi to block the spear, because otherwise you would have seen Featherman would have dropped immediately, and Ericsson gets the triumph here and it keeps him alive just long enough. Even though Sharp misses the second spear onto Maxi, Maxi just doesn't have the damage to execute Ericsson, and it ends up being a 2-for-0 with first blood going over. And now already Iron Spike Whip picked up for the Renekton. You've got the Lucidity Boots on Sharp, so it's clear it's going to be a little bit faster because he's got the cooldowns up more frequently.
Yeah,
tempo can really swing fast, and just kind of in an oppressive manner too. In favor of Nordavind, if they can pilot this lead now correctly.
Let's keep our eyes on how they now assert that pressure that they'll have in the mid and the jungle into these other lanes. As Pride pushing up in the top lane, and in the bot lane, Bean and Rux also have pressure up there. So mid and jungle is going fine, but the other side lanes not so hot right now. So we'll keep our eye on, what Sharp's going to be able to do with this faster clear, and probably much faster 6 than Maxi. Obviously, Nidalee not so reliant on 6. It does obviously give a little bit of something as Bean jumps into Chrisberg's face. Chrisberg almost getting heavily chunked out. Rux not able to land that. Winter's bites in the concussive blow stacks. It is an aggressive bot lane here from Fnatic.
Yeah, exhaust forced out though from Chrisberg, so you can still call that a pretty big win on the side of Fnatic. As re-engage, just trying to go onto him. Rux wasn't there.
Yeah, Touch has to be a little careful as he gets chunked out pretty heavily here. They've also got the jungler in the area. Touch.
So Sharp
does get jumped, but yeah, like you said, Sharp's in the area as well. Ward gets cleared out, and Nordavind's bot lane out of mana and low health do have the healing from Sharp just to keep them topped up, but Fnatic can kind of continue to be really aggressive here as mid laners are down as well. They've got the Akali in the wings, and Sharp has to be so careful as they're slowly but surely clearing out these waves. Chrisberg and Touch, they might just get dove here. The teleports are coming in. Fnatic, they're looking for the full fiesta. They're looking for the full fight. Febby slides in with the perfect execution. That's already 1 for Maxi. Febby gets the next one as Ericsson's jumping in. Locks Pride underneath the tower, but Pride has the sustain to work with. Rux will lose his life. That is Fnatic coming out on top, 2 for 1.
Yeah, I really have to ask. I mean, the timing just seems so precarious. Curb just teleported to the top lane, so I'm not sure if that's why Pride pulled the trigger on teleporting too, but we're going to see Curb at least going to make Pride miss some place, but really well executed dive from Fnatic. You just see the health bars, quite frankly, aren't there. The numbers aren't here in time for Nordavind either. And you just see they quickly take down Chrisberg. He does flash, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Same thing for Touch. Stays alive a little bit longer, but realistically thrown into the wolf pit. Wall drop now. Despite that, off the back of the plane, Nordavind, they return back out onto the map first. Fnatic must have hung around. Okay. Rux just gives Sharp a little love tap.
That was a Chad play by Rux.
Yeah. So Nordavind return back out to the map. I think Fnatic must have just stayed for a little bit too long as Maxi's hit for this gank, and I mean, yeah, they're dead. Yeah.
Chrisberg is just dead here. That's another kill for Bean. This is very trademark Fnatic here. They've been, in the first couple of weeks, very aggressive, very proactive, very decisive with their plays. And they're not looking to let that trend fall, even with them having a rough kind of mid-trade. at the beginning of this game. It hasn't seemed to phase them. They're still ready to go for these plays and be proactive. His touch goes for the Hex Flash, but will miss the Zenith Blade. So Febby still had his flash, so he's fine.
Yeah, and for now, things looking pretty good for Fnatic on the bottom side. Unfortunately, Nordavind haven't been able to extend the lead in the mid lane, just because the play has been so bot-centric ever since the first blood. Picking up the first dragon, gonna feel nice though, at least. It means there's obviously not gonna be any stall pressure on them. As trade for Ericsson, pretty one-sided.
Ah, the crocodile.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of the few matchups. I was talking with somebody earlier about Akali and just sort of being quizzed and also trying to be a little bit educational in terms of some of the matchups in the game. And realistically, I feel like Renekton's one of the few champions in the game at the moment that gets played in the mid lane that kind of just full on does kind of beat on Akali pretty harshly. As demonstrated right there in that trade, really. Even though
that's just Renekton as a champion.
It's Renekton into melee champs, right? Like, it's just kind of how it is. So we'll have to be a little patient for Vivin in terms of CS. He's only down about 8 or so at the moment in terms of sort of a potential delay in his first item spike. The Riftmaker will be the item of choice. Just one of the few things that makes Akali so strong at the moment. His Riftmaker changes to definitely push her into a little bit of a stronger territory, as Sharp has finally returned back to the mid lane. Flash available for Vevin and Ericsson both, so let's see Febby. Oh, very inquisitive. Could fall for it all the same.
It's Akali. She has the shroud.
Oh!
Okay. Well, you know what? I'll eat my words.
Yeah. Real nice spear from Sharp. Just kind of showing the dark, really. Pays off, and Febby forced the flash on top of having to actually give up this wave. Now, bottom lane of Fnatic is here.
They might go for it. Roxas
yeah.
They get in for the Glacial Fissure. Lands onto one. Touch gets slowed, and that's going to be the concussive blow. Slowly but surely stacking up. Bean jumps forward. Pops Ericsson away. Gets the stun off, and that's going to be enough for him to get the reset out. No, it's not. Febby comes in. Able to get himself one, but Fnatic's health bars are just minimally low. Maxi gets locked down underneath the tower. No, not enough to charge him up. And Fnatic end out losing their AD carry to kill Touch.
Yeah, and Chrisberg all the while on the bottom side by himself, so gets himself a plate. Bean's going to miss a couple of waves here too. Even a fair amount of this cannon wave potentially too. As replay comes up on our screen, and actually one thing I want to highlight is Ericsson stuns up Rux. I think he might have been going for Bean, or Maxi rather. And it kind of just allows Bean to go a little bit deep. And he ends up suiciding anyway. But a stun being up at this moment, for example, being able to be used onto Maxi could have definitely sealed his deal too. Still 1 for 1. And when you talk about it being a 4 versus 3 for Nordavind, that's still certainly a win.
Absolutely is. Now, recall coming in for Chrisberg. We'll see. Oh no, doesn't decide to recall actually. Hangs about in the lane for a bit more. Bean is going to shut the wave in. Touch now level 6. Obviously, did use that solar flare momentarily ago, but is Leona pretty short cooldown as Rox just going to jump forward and look for a Winter's Bite. Not that there's really any kill pressure. I guess it's Summer's Bite with this skin, though.
Yeah, but is that... No, that's the wrestling skin, isn't it?
No, it's Pool Party.
Is that Pool Party?
It's a chroma for Pool Party.
Ah.
Yeah, he's got like a little tiki bar.
Okay, yeah. You're right. Yeah. It's actually pretty anti-thematic, right, for Braum? Yeah, I mean, Braum skins aren't really staying... Braum skins don't typically stay on the whole, cold side of things, but... I've literally got a summer Braum skin. I don't know how to feel about it.
They've realized that fan service goes both ways, and that's what we've got here. Have you seen the set one?
Oh no, I've not really played much on this patch.
It's pretty cool.
I've not had the opportunity to see
I haven't played on this patch either, actually. That's really bad, but been kind of busy.
Yeah, a lot of League of Legends to watch right now, guys.
Yeah, it's too much League of Legends to watch, and I'm not getting to play it. Maxi has not got Ericsson with a 3-point strike. And it just feels like both these teams are itching to fight, but no one's fully willing to go for it. Yeah. But here comes the collapse.
Oh, Maxi
heading through vision.
Is on the wrong side of the map.
All it's going to take is one Zenith Blade. He goes in for the bop-up, has the Crescent Slash to disengage as Rux tries to get the
hold
they
on.
come in for the flash, they come in for the turnaround of Fnatic. They're not done here. Ericsson is going to get caught out for the moment. The teleports are coming in. Curb is joined into the fray, and Rux is looking like a snack as Pride has got the World Ender on. Febi's on a killing spree, and he is untouched. Pride on the front line. Fnatic have Nordavind's health bars blinking, but they're unable to connect. They're unable to finish up the job as Bean gets knocked up. Bean gets speared.
No
and
way.
Sharp jumps in. No way.
The dragon, the dragon.
The dragon and the
It's the spear.
It's so tragic. We're not done though. Pride, he's been caught out. He's in the middle of 4. Has a fair amount of healing, but I don't know about this much healing. Pride gonna try and make his way out. A shot comes in, a great exhaust there. That's 1 kill. Here's the next one. His touch is going low. A stun's enough to slow him down for the moment. He gets the 3rd. Chrisberg's next up on the menu. That's the triple kill for Pride.
Oh, Nordavind, you do such a good job in this team fight and you overextend for a kill, which at the end of the day probably wouldn't have got you anything beyond gold. And then you hand over 3 kills for it. What an exciting team fight. It starts off with Maxi being caught off on the wrong side of the map. It's real nice here from Touch to actually hit the blast cone to make sure that he doesn't have a way out. And you see the fight just explodes. Maxi immediately blown up by multiple members of Nordavind. And you see Beam jumps in and then he has to focus onto Chrisberg. And Chrisberg flashes over the wall. Featherman manages to take down Ericsson on the bottom side and eventually Kerberos feasts on him. And all the while, Pride is playing a whole bunch of disruption in the backline. And then they find the Raptor onto Bean. It's real nice follow-up from Sharp to find that spear. And not just that first spear, but the second spear, even though the dragon probably would have taken him out either way. Real nice combination. And hell, even the Void Seeker from Chrisberg from downtown would have hit too. And then this is just an overextension. Plain and simple from Nordavind. Nothing else to say, as they just don't respect the amount of damage coming in. The exhaust also not expected. Perhaps thought that it would have been used in all of the skirmishing. And Pride, I mean, he just takes three kills for free.
As we come out of the replay, there are a lot of Nordavind members in the area as Pride looking to jump onto Chrisberg, catches him with the ulti, and he brings out the World Ender, trying to keep himself topped up at the moment. Chrisberg's going low. Pride almost turns it around, has got himself the Gore Drinker to keep himself sustained up, and Pride, that's a scary Aatrox now.
Yeah, this Aatrox just got so much gold funneled into him.
They're looking to turn it around. That's going to be the Infernal Chains to slow for the moment. Rux is low. Rux will be losing his life. No, he won't. Here comes the Goon Squad. Fnatic are going to slide in, and Touch will be caught out. Rux will not be going down today. Sharp will be next up on the menu. Fnatic finds 2, and the Rift-Tail should be their prize.
It's just misexecution and overextension back-to-back for Nordavind here. And I mean, Fnatic, I think punishing appropriately is the right way to put it. Curb should be able to just take that mid lane tower with Demolish. Herald will go over to Fnatic off the back end of that play.
Well, we're now at the 15-minute mark with the Rift Herald in the pocket of Fnatic momentarily. We'll see how they use that. Because Curb was able to find that first turret blood, the gold lead is actually 200 in favor of Nordavind. Been some pretty scrappy fighting so far in this game, as Febby will catch this bot wave. He's got the Riftmaker finished up. It's a bit of breaking news. I knew you were going to say it. Head over to KitKat Gaming on Twitter for a chance to win some free skins. I really need to look into what the this competition is and how this works.
The thing is, I don't think we're allowed to sign up.
No, I won't sign up. I just, it's good for me to have information to give the viewers at home. There are so many ways to get skins in League of Legends.
Right, like
we've got our player giveaway,
the
MVP giveaway. We have the KitKat giveaway.
It's a lot of RP and skin guide.
I'm pretty sure Scoundrel does occasional giveaways on Wild Rift. So, I mean, it's unrelated to the show, but you know,
hey, free stuff is free stuff. So,
hey, sub to his YouTube channel. There you go. Scoundrel giving you a shout out, buddy.
But yeah, Herald in the mid lane. I think that's just going to be that. I feel like if Maxi committed to this tower, they could have killed it before the charge even went off.
I think they could have, but they might be able to take the second one here. Don't think Nordavind are in position to contest, and Roxas honestly going full Chad mode. Bean's going to get the jump out. That rupture onto free was good. Glacial Fissure, going to be enough just to dissuade anybody from going even further forward. Beautiful little rupture though from Curb. Yeah,
and even better Buster Shot as well onto Touch from Bean to ensure that no follow-up could be had. Especially in a choke like that. It's been very, very dangerous. So potentially Fnatic could have made their way out. Maxi did have the Crescent Slash, so could have knocked everybody back off the dive.
So, in this game, if Bean's running away, it's obvious that he's a runner Bean, right? But if he's going forward and he's got his Q on, surely that makes him Gunner Bean.
Why?
Because he's got a gun. He's Tristan, and Tristan has a gun.
Okay. Am I just missing the reference? Am I just not?
It rhymes with runner Bean. That's the pun. That's the play on words there, Jamada.
Okay. Is that buck always there?
Oh, you're just changing subject, are you?
Yes, because I don't want to talk about beans.
What about baked beans?
Baked beans, all right. Anyway, Fnatic, they've got control of the riff.
You're clearly not that big of a fan.
I mean, look, they're all right. I'm more of a spaghetti guy, even though they're kind of thin. You know the
spaghetti guy. How are beans and spaghetti even?
You know the canned spaghetti, right?
Yeah, but I cook spaghetti.
Right. You don't cook
spaghetti
beans?
Is easy. Hold on. Spaghetti is easy enough to cook. You don't need to use canned spaghetti.
I'm talking about the in the like orange tomatoes.
Yeah, like the Heinz spaghetti.
Right. Okay. All right. Look, Fnatic want to fight, and there's now teleports being committed to the bottom side.
Looks like they're getting it. That's going to be the Winter's Bite already thrown out. Here's the World Ender. Bean joins in, and he is a Gunner Bean right now. Able to take down Ericsson. That's one. Looking for the resets now. They've got the lockdown. They've got the cut follow-up. Febby secures the next one. Bean jumps in forwards and touches so slow, but he's not going to be able to get slowed enough. The Winter's Bite gets a little bit wide, but Pride isn't done. Yes, he is. Fnatic are happy with the two.
Yeah, happy with the two, though. White, really take that. Oh, no, they're not happy with the two.
Sharp is going to go Zonya's, and Sharp is going to go Splat. Touch next up as Chrisberg slides back to safety. Continues to put out a little bit of DPS as they do lose their Braum. They do lose their support. But Fnatic looking to take out this next tower. They've got the wave to work with, and Chrisberg not really going to willing to get into a Cappian range of these minions.
We'll have to see. I just heard Joke have to say rebooting because he respawned. Very strange. But yeah, Fnatic, real nice skirmish on the bottom side. They make the pick on the side lane. And they're actually not going to take the dragon right now. They're going to go for a reset. I think spend potentially some gold in the pockets after winning that fight so handily. As gold lead has kind of ballooned quite quickly to a 4,000 gold lead in favor of Fnatic. As gold being spent across the board with the exception of Maxi, who stayed out on the map. As Nordavind don't necessarily want to give up this dragon, it seems like. When you've got Cho'Gath and you've got the Feast, obviously it's a little less of a 50-50, but he doesn't have Flash, so he can't just get into the pit for free. And it seems like now the posturing of Nordavind is that they are going to back off. Curb.
He's been perfectly executed, and he's been Infernal chained. Febby can look to follow up for that execute any moment now. There it is. 7-2 on the Akali. Remember, he had a countered pick lane. Akali.
Yeah, Akali, by the way. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to hold my breath.
I'm just trying to annoy you now.
It's like a nightmare that never ends, Jake.
I mean, she's an exciting champion. I would rather Akali be broke than something like Xerath. Or like Ziggs. Oh man, Xerath's Zigg metas are so boring. It's just wave clear.
Yeah. I mean, it ends up like the byproduct of them being in the meta is pretty boring. So I'll go.
Yeah. Do you remember the meta where it was like everyone went on Holy Grail and just farmed mid for like 40 minutes?
Yeah, I do.
Oh god, I hated that meta. That was actually the worst.
I will say though, rest in peace Athenes, man. Iam did not deserve to be so handily removed from the game.
Yeah.
Especially when Moonstone was his replacement. I mean, I don't know, man. I think Athenes was a fair option. But all right.
Yeah, I mean, Athenes, I didn't mind Athenes as an item. I mean, I back in the day, I was an old Galio main, so I loved Athenes.
Ah. That's the Savant, I see.
Yeah, do you know what? Galio being reworked was probably the closest I ever got to actually leaving the game. I genuinely loved old Galio. Oh,
I mean,
Idler Duran was such an amazing ability, and it was awful. And I know he didn't really have place in like pro play or like high elo, but you know, I'm a scrub. When I flash R in my scrub elo, no one knows what to do. As long as I ban Braum, I don't get countered. Like that was genuinely it. I just banned Braum every game, and I just flash R and pentakill. It was beautiful.
I'm not gonna lie, liked the Galio rework.
No, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
If you look
okay.
at my win rates, Galio is actually my highest win rate champion. I still actually play a lot of Galio. I just like, new Galio could have been a different champion from old Galio.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think it's like Yone's basically the Yasuo rework. Why didn't Galio get that?
I mean,
yes. If they designed Yasuo today, it would be Yone.
Nah, I don't think so. I think they're two distinctively different champions.
Oh, get off it. What
No.
are you on about? That Q does exactly the same thing.
They're brothers. What do you mean?
That doesn't mean, like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, hold on. No. I'm not. This is borderline. All right. Back on the Baron.
They're doing Baron.
Yeah.
Nordavind aren't checking. They are actually looking to try and make their way forward. Remember, Curb has almost got that flash up, but no feast.
Oh, he's got no
right
feast.
now.
He just used it.
They go for the scry, so they know it's happening, and Curb, he's looking to jump in forward.
Oh no, it's bugged. He has it.
He's got it, but the Baron's already been picked up, and this might just be the turn here for Fnatic Rising. Ericsson already been caught out, and they're looking to jump over the wall, but he gets himself an unstoppable kill. The stopwatch is used, and Fnatic are liquefying the health bars of Nordavind. They are just evaporating before our very eyes. Only Ericsson stands. Fnatic makes short work of Nordavind in the fight. They've got the Baron, they've got the shove, and they might just get the game here.
Yeah, honestly, they've got a wave coming in. It's not that big, but it seems like they want to split up the Baron buff. Maxi's going to go to the top side, 4 members in the mid lane. And quite frankly, Fnatic have just pulled too far ahead. You can see the gold leads in the gold graph over time here. It was relatively Nordavind favor for a while, just because of the first blood and all the skirmishing that ended up just going in Nordavind's favor. But ever since that bottom lane play and then followed up by the top side play, Fnatic have just had full control. 2 overextensions, effectively costing Nordavind so much map pressure.
I mean,
potentially so much more.
If Fnatic find a good fight here, this could just be enough to close the game out. They're about to take this inhibitor. Bean dodging away on the spears. Maxi slides in. Ericsson's low HP. Curb's being targeted. He's got the satchel on. He loses a lot of health. The Infernal Chains are broken, however. That might just be enough for Nordavind to hold on to this game for a little bit more. The resets are coming in. Dragons spawning up in a minute's time. Fnatic, they're just going to look to reset.
Yeah, they are indeed. And I think just playing it by the books, they know they've got the dragon spawning in 50 seconds. And even if Nordavind do try and push forward and set up a vision line here on the bottom side of the map, it's not really going to amount to much. Nordavind should know they're too far behind to even contest it. So why even bother to try and rush? Spend your gold, make it back to the dragon, take it if you really want to use up the Baron time to do so, and then just go to the bottom side of the map to survive.
Looks like Fnatic now back on the map. We'll have a look at the items. We haven't actually talked about items at all this game, if we're going to be completely honest. This game's been...
Let's be quite real here. Just look at Febiven's
Akali's strong.
Inventory. Akali's strong.
Bean strong.
Bean strong.
He's been eating his green beans. He's strong now.
Yeah, and Nordavind just don't have the items to keep up in almost any department, unfortunately.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Kerberos hasn't eaten bean, so he's not strong. That's the problem.
Okay.
Beans are good for your health.
All right, I can appreciate that one. I'm not gonna... I'll cut you some slack for that. That was decent.
It works in multiple ways. He's worth a shutdown. Anyway, Fnatic just ushering in the waves in the mid wave while also trying to just use the last of this Baron towards this top wave. They actually jump in onto Curb. Curb has to be quite careful here. Perfect execution wasn't quite used. His pride does get caught out, but the Umbral Dash will buy him a little bit of space. Fnatic now slowly but surely working their way into their face as Chrisberg managed to break the chains put out by Pride. And they're doing their best to hold this wave. They're doing their best to hold on to this tower, but this should be the final shove. Ericsson threatens them by popping the Dominus, but that's going to be a great Glacial Fissure, and already they found the stun. The Solar Flare lands onto a couple of members, but Febby will just jump in. Bean will make short work of the tower, and Ericsson is taken out. Febby finds himself a couple of kills like that. It's a double kill as Sharp goes down, and Bean's coming in for the next one. That's a kill for him as well to mop up a triple kill for Febiven. Touch ain't going to give him the quadra kill. He's just going to look to pull the wave, but they are chasing. They are bloodthirsty here. Febby comes in forwards, and it's an ace for Fnatic, an unofficial quadra kill, and a 27-minute game. Beautiful stuff from Fnatic. It was a bit of a fumble at the beginning of the game, but they made up for it pretty bloody quick.
Yeah, very quickly. And I mean, realistically, I think it's Nordavind who are going to be kicking themselves after this game with those back-to-back overextensions and giving Fnatic the opportunity to even be able to play out this game after the early game and after the lead that they were slowly accruing, kind of thrown away in 2 plays back to back, realistically. But once Fnatic had the lead, they should never let go. They just pedal to the metal, full gas, and Nordavind just couldn't keep up with the IM differential. They could never lock down Febiven to stop him from going wild on the back line, and Bean eventually as well, just online dealing the dips.
Yeah, honestly, really, really solid game there from Fnatic. But I know you want game 3, but we have game 3 at home. Shut up while I turn this car around. See you after the break.